Welcome to my video and welcome to my channel. If you're stopping by for the first time, welcome. And if you've been a subscriber or you've been coming around for quite some time, you're welcome back to another video as well. Okay, so today in this video, I'm going to talk about two things. The first one will be I'm going to show you a little bit about my education, or would I call it receipts, that I believe qualifies me to be able to talk about stock investing, writing option contracts, and the other aspect of it is I'll talk about why I formed my training, or why I created my training program the way I created it. So starting off, without wasting too much time, it was a few years ago, almost 10 years now, when I came across Robert Kiyosaki, not the man himself, but I came across Robert Kiyosaki himself way back when I was in university in Nigeria. That was, I'm talking 2003, 2004. If you, I'm that old, you can see them gray hair. Uh, I was going to shoot a video for a musical group in Nigeria at the time called Style Plus. They were shooting a music video titled Olufumi Remix, and I was to feature in that video dancing, which I did. If you go look, if you go look for that video, Style Plus is the name of the group, and Olufumi Remix, the title of the song, and I was dancing in there. But I was gonna make a trip from Lautech in Ogbomoso in Oyo State to Lagos to shoot the video, and one man was driving along or pushing along wheelbarrow selling a library of books, and I came across Rich Dad Poor Dad. Prior to that, I've heard about Rich Dad Poor Dad early 2000, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal because I was into. There was another novel I was reading at the time. I can't even remember. It was kind of a detective novel, and I was like, Rich Dad Poor Dad was that. So this time I saw this man in the garage with the wheelbarrow, and I saw Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I said, okay, just let me have it. I've heard of it before. Let's go through it again and let's see what it's about. And I bought it. And every single time I turned the page, I just couldn't stop. I traveled all the way from Ogbomoso in Oyo State to Lagos without blinking. It was like a breeze. Basically, that was how I came across Robert Kiyosaki. And I've been following him ever since passively. But almost a decade ago, I started following him actively. And I came across a video of him with two Australian fellas. I think one was Hopper. I can't remember his full name, but I'll give you his full name before the end of this video, in the second part of this video. And the other one was Zelewski or something like that. And they were talking about how you can make money on stocks regardless of whether it's going up or down. You see, prior to this, I've been involved in a lot of things. I've been involved in network marketing, direct sales, HYIPs, which are high yield investments programs. Some people know about Just Being Paid, that later turned into profit clicking. I've been involved in all sorts of Forex. And it hasn't been much of a success story, okay, with all of them. And when I came across stocks, I realized it's an open market. Stocks are volatile as well. I didn't know much about it, but as they were volatile as well, like Forex going up and down. But then the more I started getting into it, the more I realized, okay, stocks are not just numbers on your screen. You're actually buying shares of a company, a real life company that has either products or services with people working in there. Now, the fluctuation in the price has to do with investors' biases on whether they want to buy or sell, but the real company is behind it. Okay, so I said I was going to go into stocks. Since it's an open market, you have unlimited amount of products to sell to unlimited amount of people without doing any sales, without any sales speech or meeting anybody face to face. And when I came across this video, I can't remember the year, but it was almost 10 years ago. When Zelewski made that statement, it arose my curiosity that how do you make money from a stock that is going down in value? And I said, this is interesting. And I started watching, and they compared it to real estate. Now, real estate, as everybody knows, is a hotbed. You buy it, You rent it out, you're collecting cash flow, and the money is paying for the mortgage. And in the long term, the mortgage is paid off, you own the house outright, but in the meantime, you're making money on it anyway. So I said, okay, that's interesting. Let's see if I can't get into real estate. That's all about networking, meeting people, and all that. Let's see how stocks do. It was in line with my personality. So I started into it and I started studying them. What I then did was I decided to buy a weekend seminar, intensive seminar from them. This will lead me into the second part of this video. Now I bought that. I'm going to show you a receipt up on either here or here. I don't know what side of the camera I'm on, but either here or here, whichever one. The receipt should be on your screen now. You can see the year of the receipt there. That's my real name on the receipt. And that's how much I paid. Look at the price. That was how much I paid for a Saturday and Sunday intensive training. And that was the amount I paid. If anybody, because even all my friends, everybody I knew, they were like, "You're crazy. How are you going to pay this amount of money for what? It's a ripoff." I'm like, yeah, it's a ripoff, but I don't know, something about it I just couldn't let it go. And I eventually paid it, and it was information overload. Man, by the time we were done on Sunday, even before Sunday, I couldn't even remember, I couldn't put one number on another. Like, what have we been going through? How did we get here? Imagine a person who doesn't know much about stocks or doesn't know anything about stocks, or only that it goes up and down. Like most of you watching this, the only thing you know is it's on screen and it's going up and down. And then you do a seminar over the weekend, which is in form of a webinar, and there was so much information. Let me show you something. Here's what they sent to me after the webinar. Now, big warning, heads up, this is huge. You see, this is the name of the company. On the receipts, if you check the name of, you rewind and check the name of the receipt, on the receipts, the letterhead, you see it's Compound Stocks Earning, CSE. And their names are, Joseph R. Hooper is one of them, and the other one is Zelensky. It's a fast start seminar. They said it was a fast start seminar, and this was over delivery. My head was blown. Look at how thick this is. They sent me a ream of paper that filled this, and I had to go through it and then remove some that I felt were advanced, like credit spreads, debit spreads, and all those I just couldn't get my head around those. And I left some that I thought I'll be able to get into. Now, these are all easy now. You see, that is what I left in there. Because I wasn't so good at charting, I left one called advanced charting. All these I have to put them together almost one by one. That was how it came. It didn't come in here. I did all that myself. And then covered calls and credit debit spread. I never really got into this until years later, and I still don't even trade this now. But I do covered calls a lot, and I did in my video that you're watching now, all of my videos, in the description page, you will see some books that I used from Blue Collar Investor. I salute to him. I bought his books off Amazon just to get more in depth with it, and I read the exit strategies, the selling cash secured puts, which was the first strategy I actually started with. And this was long ago when I was, trying to find my way through all this stuff. And eventually, when I did get it, I had to sieve out all the unnecessary information. Now, I'm not saying they are not necessary, but they are not necessary for a beginner. It would just be too much information. And I believe it was Tony Robbins who said once that complexity is the mother of inaction. So when you make things too complex, people don't take action. So I sieved away everything that I think a beginner does not need, and I left it to the bare bone. And that leads me to, or this will be a good segue to the second part of this video, which is the way I formulated my own training course. So mine is a 10-hour training course, not the whole weekend full on from morning till evening. It's a 10-hour one spread over 4 days, so you have 2.5 hours per day. I believe that's optimal. And the first 2.5 days is about breaking the ice, introducing you to options and premiums and the terminologies and things like that. And a brief introduction into covered calls. The second day will be covered calls, and the third day will be selling cash secured puts. And I'm going to leave a day between the second and the third day. Now, the first and the second day, the second day follows the first day, but then the third day will be a day gap in between for you to, absorb everything. And then on the third day, which will be the fourth day, the third class, which will be the fourth day, we go into selling cash secured puts. And that will kind of flip everything you've been learning upside down. Another day of confusion. Warning. Another day of confusion. But we're going to get into it. Okay, we're going to get through it. And that's why I gave you that one day to get the other one down. And then this second part of it, which is cash secured puts. And after that one, we give you another day off, or even 2 days off, and then we do the final day, which is bringing everything together. In some of those days, like on the covered call day, you're gonna place a trade. I'm gonna show you how to place a trade and how much you're making. On Thursday, when we're doing selling cash secured puts, you are going to place a trade for cash secured puts, and we follow up on our position from the covered call. And then on the final day, we see how much we have in profit. We should be in profit. Okay, it's all about profit for us. And on that last day as well, we deal with the defensive strategies and things to do when the stock goes against you and all that. So basically, this is what I want to share with you today. I hope it's been educational. I hope you've learned one or two things. And if you're interested, hit me up or let me know. Leave a comment in the description, and I will do my best to get back to you. Now, the classes I have a maximum of 5 people in a class, maximum. And when you're done on the last day, you have a few days to go off, or a few weeks, and I know you will have questions. So what I've done is, you can come back as an alumni, but you cannot ask questions during the class. Your camera will be off and whatnot. You cannot ask questions during the class, because your questions will be a bit more advanced and it will confuse the hell out of the new people. So your questions will have to stay or wait until the end of the class. When we're done with the end of the class, then I'll come to you and you're going to have questions that, what if this, that happened? Or what if that? We'll have covered most of it in the class. But then you're going to physically go and do it on your own, and then come back and I'll answer all the questions. But I'll do my best to answer all the questions. So you can see how many years I've been into this. Almost 10 years now. I believe that gives me I have the bona fides, so to speak, to be able to talk about this topic. So I'll leave you on that, on this note, and catch you next time in my next video.